I did see a picture of the mountain bike, but what I was most impressed with was that you put all of that oven thing together for Riley Cake.
Right by myself.
Oh my.
I did. Hey, my thumb was screaming. I don't think I could even shot a bird after that. My fingers, I didn't know they made tools and screws that little. I mean, oh, they're still cracked.
Oh wow. Well, not installation, the assembly is the right word. Was always a challenge to me. So I know what you mean. My big fingers don't work for all that. So
it was a labor of love, though. So it was most.
It looked very impressive. Yeah, I was impressed with it. So I know she's having a good time. So, all right. Well, let's roll here, everybody. We've got a number of people on tonight, and we want to thank everybody for taking a few minutes out of their thing. Yes, I did install a ceiling fan, and the lights came on, and the blades turned, and there was a clicking noise on it, but
it hasn't fallen down yet.
It has not fallen down yet, and the company is sending a new motor because they said something was wrong and it wasn't my installation, so I'm even doing better. So
well, there we go.
There you go. All right, we've got a lot to talk about. I'm going to jump to one of our features. It's performances of the week. I had the hardest time, Haley, trying to decide what that should be, and so I have three. Actually, I have five, but it's over three people. And I'm gonna start. This is no particular order, but I'm gonna start with Nate Hilligus. He deserves the performance of the week. And Nate, I know you're on here, so you may have to get me just corrected. But when Nate gets ready to leave Friday to come to Wabash Quail Club in Mount Carmel, Illinois, the interstates are snowed in, and he can't get out. And so he has to wait until Saturday to drive to Southern Illinois.
Oh my God.
And he does. He gets there, he shows up, does a great job, as wins doubles, that's third place open finish. But that's just the start of it. Nate then leaves from Southern Illinois and drives to Northeast Georgia to run at Tommy Wiley's.
Wow.
And that's the reason I'm so proud he's back safe tonight in New York, because that's around. But I think that is really that travel's got to be for for performance of the week. So
that is. I saw something on Facebook goes the little dog was ready to be home, but little did he know they were going squirrel hunting the next or fox hunting something the next day.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a lot of travel, but he does have a good travel partner with him. That Beagle is sharp, I tell you.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, I'd be wore out. I'd be wanting to sleep.
No, I don't even know how to do that. So if anybody questions, 2,100 miles. Thank you, Nate. 2,100 miles. If anybody questions whether Nate loves field trialing, they don't need to ever again. Yes, I mean, not ever again. That's pure love of it, to get in the truck and fight the elements. Just drive 2,100 miles, let alone fight the elements and do all the other. And it was cold in Mount Carmel. Let me just tell you, really.
Listen, if you can come to Tommy's in Georgia, we'll start some pointing trials, and y'all can come down here.
There you go. He can. No reason he can't make it to Elba. I mean, listen.
Yeah, that's only an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours more. Why not?
Yeah, there you go. Might as well. Absolutely. At least it'll be warm weather. Might be a little wet, but it'll be warm. Good deal. Second performance of the week has to go to Lauren Trout. Lauren came to again to Mount Carmel, ran amateurs with Copper. He won one amateur on Saturday and finished second in the other one.
Wow.
And great performance under a whole lot of pressure. And we'll talk. You're going to hear me talk a little bit more and more about this as we go on. Then the third one, they're really four tonight. I have one more after this because there's one I got to add in here. The third, and again in no order. This is just the way I've written them down. Trent Pike shows up and just on Sunday wins both amateurs. So yes,
Wow.
great job. He and Turbo did an excellent job. And let me tell you what, Trent made some shots, and I'm like, oh wow, well, he got turned around a couple of times, and I think I'm gonna have him start shooting for me. I think that's what I need. And then you talk about all the pressure, and then the fourth one, I guess, for performances a week has to go to Kevin Pixley, who knew with Lauren and Trout winning like that he had to have a great run, and he winds up winning a trial on Saturday, so which helped him in that whole high point race.
Wow.
Real congratulations to Nate and Lauren, Trent, and to Kevin Pixley. I thought that's what we're all about in this, as I like to say, in this organization. So great fun and great to watch all of it. I am glad I didn't have to ride the 2,000 miles with Nate. We'd had fun, but I'd probably been asleep about 1,900.
I definitely would have been asleep.
Oh, no question.
I've been caught up with the Beagle.
Yes, there you go. The Beagle and I would have been long asleep on that one. Let me switch over and kind of go through for everybody what we did have on the hold on, let me get my right sheet out here. As far as our process, and that was I get that. So okay, on let me back up here on I may have written it down the wrong page. Anyway, I know this one. Mike Guerin won both open trials with Sis and with Frank. As I mentioned, Nate with Brent won the doubles on Sunday, and then Reed Thacker and Greg Burke won doubles on Saturday. And then of course I went through the amateur part, so you know how I won those. So we had a lot of really good competition with it, and the times were so close in these. They weren't just like one or two dogs. I mean, we were 4, 5, or 6 dogs down that just a little bit either way certainly could have made a difference as to who won or who finished or who placed and all of that. So with it.
It seems to be getting that way more and more so each trial we run. It just seems like everyone's getting better and better, and times are just getting fat. And the thing is, like at our house, we made the field harder, and times were still quick just because the dogs found their birds. And that just goes to show you that there's some great dogs in this organization through and through, Flushing to Pointing, all of them. And it looks like a lot of people did a lot of traveling this week. I saw the Strothers traveled to help run with Nate because his dad couldn't come, and you traveled. Flushing is pretty much wrapped up so far, so I just can't wait till the beginning of the year to go ahead and get some trials ran and do a little practicing.
Yep, absolutely. Well, it all goes back to, I've always said, I've learned early on this, that Nate was the real anchor of that whole team anyway. And it's just proved, every weekend I was just, there it is. This is clear as it can be. Randy's kind of dragging up here. I think Nate's kind of dragging Randy along with it as we go with it. It was interesting, competitive. The thing that I've watched, Haley, and I think you're exactly right about dogs, is from when I started in this, at least, the dogs are so much better. They're so much better. People have worked dogs and all, and they have really good dogs, and we're a little bit better at what we do as handlers, and most of us as shooters, and all. And it means it's tight, because it took on Saturday. I don't remember the scores on Sunday, but on Saturday it took 2 3-minute runs to win it, and so I get to looking at it thinking I don't know I could get through the field that quick, literally just walking from one place to the other with it. And that just shows you the least little bit of hiccup. There's some good dogs sitting there ready to take that spot. So that's fun. The competition is really, really great. All right, let's see where we are in high point standings. We got a lot to go on. Let me turn this over. Tell us about Flushing.
All right, man. This high point standing race, it has been a race to say the least. It's been fun to watch. I know everyone's been sitting on edge pointing, especially because you guys have had so many trials, like at different places, but so many trials in one event. Like, gosh, so that's exciting to hear about. So our there is still one Flushing trial to happen in 2020, but as it stands right now, Open Flushing High Point Dogs of the Year. I'll name the first 5 out of both because let me tell you, it is so close. Like points apiece, and things have changed since our Christmas Classic and our trial before then, and the trials up north, and things are tight, and things have been tight. So Briggs with Clint is first place open. Second place is Thor with Eddie Carbon, and third place is Valley with Clint. Fourth place is Hercules with Eddie Carbon, and fifth place is Midas with Eddie Carbon. And like literally 6th, 7th, 8th, they're just like 20, 30 points apiece, all those. I mean, that's good to hang in there that tight. And, you know, it's depending on how consistent you are each day in those trials, depending on, and there's all kinds of luck in this game. So you may go out there and your bird leave the field and you can shoot better than anyone out there and your bird just may not be there, you know, but I mean, this game is fun. It'll keep you coming back for sure.
No question. No question.
So doubles Flushing, first place is Thor with Eddie Carbon, and second place is Midas with Eddie Carbon, and third place is Ultra with Clint Bradshaw. Fourth is Hercules with Eddie, and fifth is Creek with Cross Payne. And I'm telling you, like, you know, a lot of these dogs were striving for the high point, and then someone was like, oh, wow, she did really good, and she made it. Awesome. Like,
right.
So I think that's awesome. Those are always some of the best dogs to compete against. There's many more, obviously, in this organization to compete against, and I'm excited for nationals. Those top 3, as we've said, you know, get an automatic shoe in to the finals for nationals. So all you gotta do is go to nationals and do your best, and they will take I think 10 dogs from the doubles, and we'll see how many they take from the open depending on how many injuries we have.
Right.
So I'm very excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, great. Well, it is
everyone.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see. It always is, and it's always fun to watch. I remember the first time I ever was involved in the high point race at all. It was like one day I looked up and I'm like, oh wow, you know, I just didn't follow it, and then when you start following it, you really see the competition that comes out in it, and that is tightened up because it goes down sometimes to those last trials
It does.
to figure it out. I mean, I know last year for you, it was your Christmas Classic, I guess, was the last one, and it really was decided in that last day of that last trial.
Yeah, and same this time.
Yeah, and so, well, let me, I'm going to talk a little bit about the amateur. We talk about tight. I have, at least as when I have been in, the length of time I've been in the UFTA, I've never seen one that I followed like this. So I want y'all to go with me on this. This is amateur pointing. When before we ran trials this weekend, Kevin Pixley was in first place. He was 19 points ahead of Trent and Lauren with Trent Pike, and then Lauren was in third place. After we finished on Saturday, Kevin was still in first place. He was, let me do my math here in my head, 15. He was 18 points at that point ahead of Lauren, not Trent. And Lauren was only about 35 points ahead of Trent.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's all compressed in there in about 35 points, frankly, 35, 40 points. After Sunday's runs, Kevin is 1 point ahead of Trent and only 18 points ahead of Lauren.
Wow.
So is.
Each of them did very well this weekend.
Yeah, they did. All 3 of them did. but everybody's heard me talk about Lauren and Trent a lot, and it's because I love I love young people and do this, and I think that's one. I love to see Nate do it, and he's just a little bit older than them, but not much. But to go in there knowing that you needed to have those kind of performances, and to come out with one of them with 2 wins and one with the first and second place.
I'll comment on that. So normally when you're under that much pressure and this is what you have to have, you mess up. You miss a bird. So right. Literally, I've always told Clint, I'm like, you don't need anything. Just go out here and work the dog and shoot your birds. Like, hush, don't think about anything. And he's like, and I'm like, just shoot your birds.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but
you go to thinking we mess up. I know I do, 100%. If I think about a safety, and I pull my trigger, I miss.
Well, how hard is it to tune all that out to go in to do that?
Whew.
It's just not. I mean, I know Nate got that. I'll get to that in a minute. But Holler was in 4th. And moved back into 3rd. I think that's right here with it. Was when I looked at it this morning. But he went to Georgia after all those miles, but knowing he had to place in order to move back up to get him back into 3rd place. That's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
But you put young people in it that, first time I ever, put them in it. That says a lot of good things about our sport, but in the competition we have. So anyway, it was just the wildest weekend. And I wanted to go through that amateur because I started tracking it and I thought, this is incredible of what we're seeing happen right here with all of it. Bouncing over, let me move over to the Open, to the High Point as of I looked at it here about 45 minutes ago. Randy Hillegas with Trooper is in the 1st place. And Brandon Tarquinio with Stella is in 2nd, only about 24 points behind. And then Randy with Holler is in 3rd place with it. I talked about, Kevin is, again, there as we mentioned, in 1st place, Turbo and Trent's in 2nd, and Copper and Lauren in 3rd. Doubles pointing, Karma and Trooper with Randy and Nate remained in 1st place, and in doubles pointing, and then Copper and Lauren and Turbo and Trent in 2nd place, and Bo and Mags with from Butch White in 3rd. So those kind of stayed the same with it, but that 1st place was sort of sitting out there, and over the weekend too, with two doubles pointing in it. So we've had some incredible races. We still have some trials, pointing trials going on here. So let me kind of go through those just for everybody. What we have on the schedule is the 29th. Well, today I guess Bama Bird Dog had a trial. The 29th through the 31st, Tri-County Quail Club. They had amateurs and doubles, and that's in Corbin. And then Bama Bird Dog is scheduled for one the 30th and 31st as far as upcoming. And then I'm gonna go ahead and move into next week as well. Just knowing that, or this coming weekend, which starts our 2021 season in pointing. Liberty Corner has a pointing trial, the 1st and 2nd. North Georgia has one, the 2nd and 3rd. Cedar Creek has one, the 2nd and 3rd. And then I think Brandon has pointing and Flushing January the 3rd. And Flushing trials, Haley?
Flushing, there's one left in 2020. That's December 31st at Hanson Outfitters. That's a Flushing only trial in Anita, Iowa. Point of contact for that is Paul Hanson. 2021, like you said, Flushing and pointing at Cedar Creek, January 2nd through 3rd with Joey Preston and Chris Hubbard. And the 3rd, Silver Pigeon Gun Dogs, they're pointing and Flushing. That's Brandon Tarquinio, that's in Pennsylvania. After that, the most exciting thing is Nationals, February 20th through the 27th. And like we said, that has been moved to Cedar Creek Quilt Club in Kentucky. So I'm excited. I'm excited for nationals. I'm ready to work my dog and go back to the basics and just restart all over and get her a little tuned up.
Get going. Well, we're looking forward to it. It's a fun week for us. It's sort of a break. We all like to, and I know I've talked to several people at Mount Carmel that had houses or they had their hotel. They already gotten all their accommodations done, and it's fun to have everybody pile in and see everybody and have the week and all with it. So we'll look forward. One of the things that we want to do between now and then, Joey and I've been talking, Joey Preston and I've talked a couple of times, just trying to have timing so he can come on and talk a little bit of just giving information more about the setup. I think they're trying to, he's working to get all that together. I know he's the contact if you need, if you have any questions about some possibility for housing and all, or places to stay, to do that. I've stayed at there's a hotel wise, there's a Hampton Inn. I've stayed there. There's a Holiday Inn that's nice. There is a Quality Inn across the road. That's all that's in Danville with and then there are certainly some other homes and things that you can vacation rental type things that you can do.
Danville and Stanford are pretty much your places to book a hotel, I think, that are the closest, within a 30 to 45-minute range. Other than that, it's going to be about an hour. But we were lucky to I found an Airbnb, man, and on there it said rare find. This house is usually booked, and it's only 13 minutes from.
Wow.
So, that's very nice. You don't have to wake up 2 hours early just to let dogs out to air and then drive to the place.
Right. Well, we're a bit further than that, but still there. So if you need help, again, don't hesitate to contact Joey to help any of you that need any of that. We are going to do some, let me first say just some reminders. Next week, we're back on Thursdays. We go back to our regular time, 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern. So look for us then. We're going to do a couple of features, new features in 2021. We're working and beginning to line up some judges that we want to have come on and talk about judging and how they got into judging and all of those good things. We'll have flushing and pointing as well. So we're kind of excited about that feature. We also will be bringing on the some or most or all of the, hopefully all of the high point winners, so that we can hear a little bit more about their experience, I guess is the right word to put with that and all. So we'll be in touch and kind of do that. So those are a couple of features that we're going to do new for the upcoming year, and then getting ready for nationals and all. So
absolutely. So y'all don't forget all these last minute trials that we have left in the next 2 days. Make sure, especially if you're running a trial on the 31st, you take a picture and text Miss Mary, email Miss Mary, Mr. Frank, those results, because they are working endlessly trying to get those results in, and you have till the 31st to get them in. If you do not submit them, all that hard work was for nothing, because sorry.
Get him in is critical, because those of you who know computing, and once it clicks over that clock in that next year, it's a nightmare. So and everybody's been doing it. Let me just say thank you, because I looked up. Mount Carmel was one I was watching because I was there, but they had theirs in, and Mary, bless her, I mean, she had them posted, and I've been watching scores. Everybody's doing that, getting them into her, which is just superb and very helpful for her. So all that. So all right, Haley, what else we have before we wind up for tonight?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, listen, everyone, thank you for being with us. Again, we've had a great time this year. We're looking forward to next year, and more trials and more guests on and all. And so we will be back on again, 7:30 Central Time next Thursday, 8:30 Eastern, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody then. So up until then, join us next week on Field Trialing with
Haley Ann,
Jenny. Bye, everyone.
See y'all next year.
All right, that's right. See you next year. Thanks, everyone.